What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. This video is called 10 iconic WWE finishers that wrestlers killed. Wow. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this.
In modern day pro wrestling, it is extremely difficult to come up with a new, exciting and innovating finishing move.
Yeah, that's true.
Every move imaginable has been used as a finishing move at some point, and this makes it hard for new wrestlers to stand out. It's also a major issue that moves that may have been iconic and protected 2 decades ago are now seen as transitional moves. This means that if a new wrestler was to introduce that specific move as their finisher, the fan base would have a difficult time in accepting that move as a legitimate, credible finishing move. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 iconic finishers that wouldn't get over today. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, WrestleMania.com.
They gonna get you on that website.
The Sleeper Hold. The Sleeper Hold is one of the most well-known submission moves in pro wrestling. The hold was used by
my guy.
Number 10.
He tried to swim out of the sleeper hold.
The Sleeper Hold is one of the most well-known submission moves in pro wrestling. The hold was used by legendary Rowdy Roddy Piper.
He knew he was in deep water.
And there have been a number of variations of the move used as a finisher over the years. Well, Piper is probably the wrestler most associated with the move.
Ted DiBiase too.
Him and Ted DiBiase.
Yep, and Dolph Ziggler.
In WWE, the move is often used as a basic submission hold in a match, and is even used as the standard rest hold, so the wrestlers can catch their breath and even communicate when it comes to upcoming spots. If a wrestler was to reintroduce the move as a finisher today, it'll be extremely hard for fans to invest in the move, as a repetition of the move has been butchered over the past 2 decades. Notably, Dolph Ziggler attempted to introduce the move as a secondary finisher around a decade ago, but it sadly struggled to get over, and it wasn't before long that Ziggler retired the move as a finisher. Number 9, belly.
The thing is with the sleeper hold, I think people would respect it more if they were ever put in a sleeper hold in real life in an actual fight. Like, I think that's where the respect goes to, but everybody else probably won't see it that way. I mean, ex people like Craig on Friday or ex Tyrese when he was on Baby Boy, they know how crazy that sleeper hold could get.
To belly. It's unlikely that a belly-to-belly suplex will ever become obsolete in wrestling. The move looks good and is considered relatively safe. However, a wrestler using the move as a primary finisher ever again would be a daring task.
Bayley did.
The move was last used as a finisher when Bayley decided to use the move and rebrand it the Bayley to Belly. Her version was perfect for her character, but she quickly realized that when she changed gimmicks, the move didn't really work well as a standout finishing move when portraying any other character outside of the hugger. If the move was to be introduced as a new finisher, then a modification of the move would be needed, or ultimately the move would fail to get over with a modern day audience.
Hey, he put the jets on him.
KO Punch. When the Big Show introduced the KO Punch as a finishing move, it was a bold yet smart choice for the former champion. It goes without saying that a 7-foot tall, almost 500-pound man punching an opponent is a surefire way to win a match and obtain credibility. But the problem is that the move simply wouldn't work for anyone else. There are obvious question marks.
But Logan Paul uses it as his lucky shot. You know, I guess the modification would be the story behind him having metal in his fist, but he uses it, so.
Surrounding how the move is even legal in WWE, as it depends on WWE's stance on closed fists when it comes to punches. Due to punches being a very standard part of any modern WWE match, if the move was used as a finisher by a new wrestler, fans would have no idea it was a finishing move.
That's the discus punch right there.
It took time for fans to accept the move as Big Show's new finisher, and it had to be presented and protected with care and diligence. There is no way a wrestler in modern day WWE would be able to get the move over.
Oh, Lacey Evans.
Examples such as Lacey Evans with the women's right, and as expected, this move looked completely flat upon execution, and nobody took it seriously. Number 7.
That's because having a KO punch is not believable, because like there's no way you can make the impact look like it actually hurts. Like you have to actually, you know, no pun intended, pull the punch so that you can't actually hurt the person. So unless, like you said, unless you're Big Show and you're a big person, or you have somebody like Logan Paul who has metal in his fist, the impact of actually knocking somebody out with that move, it just doesn't seem believable. Unless it's like maybe a discus punch. If you're a smaller person, get a discus punch like we just saw Amber Moon do, and it will be more believable.
Worm. The Attitude Era was a time in which more comedic finishers were able to get over with the audience. The Worm was a finisher of Too Cool member Scotty 2 Hotty, and the finisher, whilst entertaining and always delivered a huge crowd reaction, it's a rather lackluster move. The move is
it's just for entertainment though,
followed by a funny dance, only to be followed up by a fist drop. The move was perfect for the respective time, and we saw when Scotty used the move in the Ruthless Aggression era that fans weren't as keen on the infamous move. If that move was used as a finisher for a wrestler today, then it would have to be solely presented as a comedic move and nothing else. Trying to book and present the move as credible would be a difficult task for WWE. We've seen wrestlers such as Otis
The
use a similar
caterpillar.
move on the WWE main roster, but Otis was extremely smart in having a backup finishing move which allowed him to win matches in a serious and legitimate manner when it wasn't time for a comedic moment. Number 6. The AA. John Cena first debuted the AA back in 2003. The move was initially introduced to rival Brock Lesnar's F5, yet the move seemed to work perfectly for the Doctor of Thugonomics, so he kept the move for the next 2 decades. The move is the best possible move for Cena, as it's a safe variation of the popular Death Valley driver maneuver. If Cena was to retire the move and a wrestler from either the WWE main roster or NXT started using the move, it'd be unlikely that the move would ever receive a substantial reaction. The move is firmly associated with Cena, and if anyone else began to use the move, it would look kind of awkward, and it would forever be compared to Cena, which is something a wrestler would always struggle to overcome. Number 5.
Yeah, that's true.
The Big Splash. Using a big splash as a finisher was previously a smart way for super heavyweight wrestlers to deliver an impactful finishing move. Wrestlers such as Mark Henry and Viscera both used the move as a finisher, and it was a great fit for them as they managed to make the move look devastating. The move was also used by the Ultimate Warrior, and his version of the move worked because he was able to get significant height on his leap, which made the move look awesome upon execution. The Big Splash, similarly to other moves, has become a staple of matches, and the move is seen as a transitional move from one move to the next. If the move was to be used by a wrestler today as a primary finisher, then a noticeable modification would be needed to be implemented. This modification may come in the form of delivering the splash from the top rope, or it could be something brand new and unique. Without this modification, the move would struggle to receive a reaction, as the fans would be left underwhelmed and very dissatisfied. Number 4.
Yeah, this makes you miss Big E. But also Kevin Owens uses it. I know it's not his finisher, but he does use a big splash. But I guess that move in itself, I don't think it's killed, but it has to be reserved to the individuals who have, how do I say it, enhanced body weight. Let's just say it that way. Those people will have to do the move, because outside of that, it just won't look impactful at all. Kind of the same like feeling I get from like the KO punch.
Figure 4 leg lock. In terms of famous finishing moves, the figure 4 leg lock is no doubt one of the most celebrated and widely known submission-based finishers. The move is mostly associated with the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and Flair has won countless titles with the trademark move. WWE have had a difficult time in giving the move to anyone else, as fans just seem to reject the notion of someone outside of Flair delivering the move. When Flair passed the move on to The Miz, fans loathed the idea, and it didn't help that The Miz's execution of the move was incredibly clumsy. WWE would even attempt to give Flair's own daughter Charlotte Flair the move, and Charlotte made the sensible choice of offering a modification and variation of the move, as her finisher is appropriately named the Figure 8, and it sees Charlotte push up into a bridge for extra leverage. This has managed to work, and the move is seen as one of Charlotte's more superior moves, and this is predominantly down to Charlotte's unique and memorable approach. Number 3. The Leg Drop. Hulk Hogan is a man who made the leg drop one of the most protected finishing moves of all time. Hogan's leg drop, whilst basic as a finisher, was given credibility thanks to years upon WWE protecting the move. Decades on from Hogan's era, and the move is used as a standard basic move in most matches, and the idea of a wrestler using the move as a finisher is very hard to comprehend. Unfortunately for fans of the dreaded leg drop, the move is just too basic to be a modern day finishing move, and whilst the move may work if a super heavyweight was delivering it as a finisher, it would still be a tough task to ask fans to accept and react positively to the move.
I think it works in Nia Jax.
Number 2. The People's Elbow. It's hard to imagine anyone other than The Rock delivering the People's Elbow. The People's Elbow was...
But to be fair, LA Knight has the elbow drop that's very, very similar to the People's Elbow, and people are fine with it. I know the blunt force trauma is his finisher, but if that were to be his finisher and the blunt force trauma ended up being his signature move, I don't think people would be bothered by it. It just all depends on the character.
Truly move that only The Rock would have been able to get over, as the Great One delivered.
But they can't do exactly this.
Elbow drop with so much charisma and aura that it was somehow presented as one of the most legitimate moves in the company. A move such as the People's Elbow would never work in today's WWE, as fans dissect the logic of the move within seconds, and even if a wrestler tried to replicate the style of move, it wouldn't be too long before the live audience began to boo the move. When The Rock has made sporadic appearances over the past decade, he has still used the move, and for the most part fans have been okay with it, but the sheer idea of a wrestler taking a similar approach to their finishing move is something that fans simply aren't clamoring for. And number 1, Sweet Chin Music. One of the most overused moves in modern wrestling is the super kick. A super kick
Yeah.
can be found in virtually every pro wrestling match, and a wrestler using a single super kick as a finishing move would be difficult to pull off. Shawn Michaels is mostly known for introducing his version of the super kick to WWE, as his version was known as Sweet Chin Music, and if HBK debuted today, he would struggle to get the move over because everyone on the roster uses his finisher. The only way a wrestler in a top company such as WWE might be able to get over the move as a finisher is if a blanket ban is issued on super kicks. If super kicks are then exclusively kept for finishing moves only, then a wrestler may have a small chance of restoring the infamous move back to its former glory. There you have it,
Nah,
folks.
it's too late
10
because
iconic
it's being used everywhere. You got the Young Bucks using it. You got the Usos using it. You got Kevin Owens using it. You saw Johnny Gargano using it. It's so many people using the super kick. So I don't think there's a way that it's going to be a super believable finisher. But I think there's a way they can modify it to make it um, a more convincing finisher. It all depends on the person who's doing it and how the other person's selling it. If they catch it like like Bradshaw was doing the clothesline from hell, people slipping like that, then it'll be a lot more believable. A little bit that the selling of that way would be crazy, but it'll be cool. But anyways, is there any other move that they didn't add on this list? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much.